Welcome back to War Archive, your gateway to the untold stories of history's greatest battles and the mysterious folk tales that time almost forgot. From the clash of empires to whispers of legends, we uncover it all, one story at a time. So, gear up, history buffs and thrill seekers. Your journey into the past starts right now. Like, share and subscribe and enter a world of war, mystery, and timeless. The untold story of the woman who outsmarted the SS origins of shadows. The winter of 1942 descended upon Europe like a vengeful spectre. Smoke curled over bombed-out cities, and the iron grip of the SS stretched across occupied lands with terrifying precision. In Berlin's underground cafes, whispers spoke of resistance movements, of clandestine networks that moved like shadows in the streets. Among them, few names were known, and fewer still lived to tell their tales. One such figure was Elise Hartmann, a quiet woman whose brilliance was masked by her unassuming appearance. Born into a family of academics, Elise's mind had been sharpened by logic and literature, but nothing could have prepared her for the moral labyrinth she would walk in the coming years. The spark of defiance. Elise had watched the Nazi rise with a growing dread. The Gestapo's arrests, the systematic erasure of neighbors, and the chilling public spectacles of obedience left an indelible mark on her psyche. When her younger brother disappeared during a forced conscription raid, she realized that passivity was complicity. Joining the underground meant risking death at every turn, but it also meant reclaiming humanity in a world that seemed to have abandoned it. Code and conspiracy. Her first assignments were modest, smuggling messages, forging documents, but Elise's ingenuity quickly elevated her role. Using her knowledge of mathematics and languages, she devised a code that allowed resistance cells to communicate under the SS's watchful gaze. She built a network of allies across Berlin, a disillusioned SS officer who leaked information, a former opera singer whose home hid encrypted messages, and a young courier whose loyalty became her lifeline. Together, they formed a fragile chain of trust, each link vulnerable to betrayal and death. Betrayal in the shadows. The first real test came on a rain-soaked night. A courier she trusted vanished without a trace, leaving behind only a blood-stained scarf. Elise realized that the SS had infiltrated their ranks. The paranoia gnawed at her. Every knock at the door, every suspicious glance could herald capture. Yet in that crucible of fear, Elise's resolve hardened. She began to anticipate the enemy, to think in their strategies, turning their own methods against them with precision that would later earn her the moniker the Fox of Berlin. The Great Heist. Her defining act of cunning occurred during the night of April 17, 1943. Intelligence indicated that a shipment of SS documents, including orders for mass arrests and executions, would move through the city. Elise orchestrated a plan that would become legendary among resistance circles. Under the cover of a thunderstorm, she and her team intercepted the transport, replacing the real documents with expertly forged copies. The SS never realized the swap until months later. By then, countless lives had been saved. The cost of victory. Heroism was never without its shadows. The operation came at a price. Allies were captured, others executed, and Elise herself narrowly escaped a raid that destroyed her family home. She wrestled with guilt and survivor's remorse, questioning whether the lives saved justified the sacrifices demanded. But she pressed on, fueled by the memory of her brother and the countless innocents whose fates rested in her hands. The final gambit. As the war neared its climax, the SS intensified their hunt for resistance operatives. Elise orchestrated her most audacious plan yet, infiltrating a high-ranking SS office to extract intelligence that could turn the tide for Berlin's remaining insurgents. Disguised and alone, she navigated corridors bristling with armed officers. Every step carried the weight of history, every decision a moral calculus between self-preservation and duty. In the end, she succeeded, not through force, but through audacious wit, leaving the SS confounded and her allies a step ahead in the fight for freedom. Shadows of humanity. The war ended, but its echoes remained. Elise emerged physically unscathed but emotionally scarred. She bore witness to the thin line between heroism and obsession, morality and necessity. The brutality she had survived etched a permanent shadow in her soul, and though she lived to see liberation, the faces of those lost haunted her dreams. Remembering the Fox. In the years that followed, Elise Hartmann faded into anonymity, her deeds unrecorded in official histories. Yet survivors of the Berlin resistance told tales of her brilliance, of a woman who had outsmarted the SS time and again, whose courage had lit a dim and flickering hope in the darkest of nights. She became legend not through medals or accolades, but through the lives she touched, the the families she preserved, and the conscience she never surrendered. Echoes of Courage. The story of Elise Hartmann is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, to the power of intellect and moral courage in a world bent on destruction. It reminds us that in the depths of human cruelty, ingenuity and compassion can still emerge, capable of rewriting destinies. Her legacy is quiet, unassuming, and eternal, an echo that whispers through history, asking us not merely to remember, but to act when courage is required.